What's up, everyone? So I've been meaning to make this video for a long time, for anyone, any friends or family or anyone who would watch my channel. If you were wondering about what's been going on with my skating and why I haven't uploaded in about a month, it's because I got hurt. I'll just keep it, I want to keep it as short and simple as I can, but in October, around the 19th or something, I hurt my knee. And I immediately knew, just because of how it felt when it happened, the way that it twisted and popped, I knew that it wasn't something minor, and how swollen it was getting right away. I knew I needed to go somewhere to get it checked out. So I'll just tell the story sort of chronologically, and then give my sort of 2 cents about it at the end. So on that day, Delaney, I was gonna have her take me to the hospital because of how terrible it felt, and I knew that my older brother had torn his ACL before, and I think he went straight to the emergency room, but I just was thinking worst case scenario, like I blew out my knee or whatever. So I had her take me somewhere, and we decided to go to an urgent care clinic instead of the emergency room, just because if it was something minor, hospital bill is pretty crazy compared to just an urgent care visit. So we went to our local urgent care place, and I couldn't walk at all. I couldn't put any weight on my leg, and it was starting to swell quite a bit. And all I really did before we left for the hospital, or for the urgent care, was rinse off in the shower, but because I just got home from work. But so we get to the urgent care, and they just sort of evaluate my knee and see what's wrong with it, and they couldn't tell. They could tell that it definitely wasn't just a sprain because of how swollen it was getting and how little I could move it. They knew that it was something more serious, so they recommended me go to an orthopedic doctor, and I did that. I was off work for a while because I just couldn't walk on my leg at all, and it was swollen a whole bunch, and I knew that trying to do physical activities might make it worse if it was something serious. So we went to the orthopedic doctor, and he couldn't really tell anything either. It was kind of, you know, things like this become sort of like a long road because they can't tell exactly what's wrong with it, so they recommend you to someone else and someone else. But so in the end, I got an MRI at a different clinic. I got an MRI done. The urgent care the first day did an x-ray and determined that none of the bones seemed to be damaged, so it was probably something with ligaments if it was something more serious. So I went from doctor to doctor and eventually got an MRI done, and it was mainly just a waiting process, seeing how my knee was feeling and waiting for the MRI results to get back and be interpreted by my orthopedic doctor. And when I finally met back with him, he told me that my ACL was torn and that my meniscus was damaged, and it was a big shock. And it was a big shock because I have sort of heard of these stories before. I've heard my brother tore his ACL, and I have a close friend who blew out his knee too and tore the ligaments in there, and not to mention the professional skateboarders that have gone through it and athletes that have gone through it, and I know it's not easy. So whenever he told me that my ACL was torn, it really kind of hit me. And for anyone who doesn't know, your ACL is one of a few crucial ligaments. It's one of the most crucial ligaments in your knee. It stands for anterior cruciate ligament, and it's attached with like your PCL, which is posterior cruciate ligament, and it's just sort of in the middle of your knee, the main sort of ligament of stability for your movements. And so tearing it is a pretty common thing, but it's also a very serious thing, and whenever it's completely torn, it needs to be reconstructed. But the orthopedic doctor that told me this, he wasn't a specialist on the ACL, I guess, and so he recommended me to a new doctor, someone who specializes in ACL and ligament surgeries and whatnot and sports medicine. So I met with him today, actually, and I got more news. He gave me relieving news. He told me that my ACL was only partially torn, which was great news because a complete tear is, ACLs don't heal themselves. You can either get surgery and get it reconstructed using like pieces of other part, like you can use a cadaver to repair it, or other parts of your body, I guess, but I don't really know the details. But I know you can either get surgery to reconstruct it, or you can just sort of deal with it with physical therapy. You can strengthen like your hamstring and other muscles in your leg to sort of compensate for the lack of stability that the ligament used to give. And so when he told me it was only partially torn, it gave me hope that it could that it would be easier to heal it through physical therapy and just time. And the doctor briefly went over with me sort of the likelihood of recovering 100% without surgery. And he said if the ACL is torn less than 50%, which he thinks that it is, I can, within maybe 3 months of physical therapy, he said I should be getting back into shape. But he doesn't know for sure. Like I said, it's the MRI technology, you can't know for sure, except with different sorts of experimentation. So right now he's having me start physical therapy with these next couple of weeks and see sort of how my leg, by strengthening the other muscles and whatnot, how it sort of looks and how my range of motion increases, if it increases. And then when I meet with him 2 weeks from now, we'll go over if I should get surgery in the future, or if I can keep on with physical therapy and try to get 100% that way. And if you know me or have been following my channel, you know that I live in Pennsylvania and all of my friends and family live in Florida, and I'm just here with my girlfriend while she goes to school. We're planning on moving back after she graduates early next year, so it'll be about 6 or 7 months before I'm headed back to Florida. So my main goal would be to be at a place where I could start skating again by the time I get back home to Florida. And this whole experience has been really crazy for me as someone who I never really had to go to hospitals or doctors or anything like that, especially since I've been living on my own. I have no experience with this. I've only recently had insurance of my own through my employer, so I don't know how it all works, and this is all really new to me. So I really want to sort of make a string of videos documenting what I'm going through and sort of planning for the future and catching up with you guys, just to share the news and share how I'm doing, and eventually start skating again and kind of relearning everything, because it's going to be hard. I haven't had this long of a period off the board in so long, and I've only been off the board for a month, and there's months to come from now before I'm starting again. So it'll be a learning process, and for anyone out there who might be going through something like this, I kind of want this to be a tool for them, maybe, if as someone who is trying to figure it out himself. It's nice to see someone else going through it. I've been watching a lot of sort of recovery videos from athletes and skateboarders and whatnot, seeing them going through similar stuff and even worse things. That's why I'm feeling hopeful, because it is a partial tear. It's going to be hard, but it's not going to be as hard as it could have been, you know? I have a friend who tore everything in his knee. He tore his ACL, his MCL, his meniscus, and it was really hard for him because he had to get multiple surgeries and whatnot. So I know it's going to be a long road, but I'm going to get through it, and I will start skateboarding again. I think that the most important thing to keep in mind when things like this happen is that it's all going to be alright in the end, and I guarantee a year from now, everything will be fine just the same, you know? It's not life-threatening. There's people out there dealing with much worse, so I'm just going to keep a good head on my shoulders and stay focused on my goals and what I want to get to. And if you are watching this and you're going through something like this, it's going to be alright. I know it's hard, and especially if you're younger or don't have insurance, or you go through your parents and have to like take off school and whatnot, it is hard, but you can do it, you know? If I could give you any tips, just from what I've experienced so far, it's just to stay on top of things and stay alert, talk to your doctors, listen to what they're telling you, and really kind of gauge for yourself what you have to do. They're the experts, so they're going to tell you sort of how things look and the options and likelihood of scenarios and whatnot, but it's up to you to sort of determine how you're going to recover, because although they're giving you the tools for things like physical therapy and braces for your knee and operations if you need that, but it's up to you to really stay on course. And if your parents are dealing with all of this, then it might be a little bit easier as far as appointments and keeping schedules go, but for me, I'm living on my own just with my girlfriend, so I've really been trying to keep up with appointments. I have like a binder that I've kept just with sort of names and dates, and I've been keeping a notepad for questions that I have for the doctor, especially now that we're discussing surgery, and I know a few people who have had complications. My older brother got an infection from ACL surgery, and my friend needed a second surgery to deal with scar tissue that had built up. So I keep questions. If you have things like this, not only should you Google it and kind of like look online for answers, but ask the professionals, because the, you know, WebMD and things like that, things on the internet aren't always your best bet. So I've been trying to keep in contact with people who have gone through this before. I've been talking to my brother a lot and some of my friends a lot. Another important thing is to stay positive, because there's been some people that have told me discouraging things, saying that it would be 2 to 3 years before they walk normally again, and situations like that. But just remember, everybody's different. Everyone's situation is different. So if you are watching my videos and what I'm going through, it might be way worse for me than it is for you, or vice versa. You might have it harder than I will, just because everyone's different, every injury is different, everyone's body is different. So just stay strong, stay positive, and if you're watching this as a friend or family member, just keeping up with me, everything's alright. It sucks to not be able to skate and whatnot, but the doctor today gave me clearance that I can start back doing everything at work with no restrictions, so that is cool. I'll be able to make the same amount of money that I did before. And I'm also just sort of taking advantage of the time off the board, sort of. It sucks, but skateboarding has always been a top priority, and making videos and whatnot, and filming a video part, I've been so focused on it that I put other things on the back burner, like art, and grip tape art has always kind of been second to skateboarding itself. And just like leisure activities like reading and video games and stuff like that. Now that I'm hurt and I can't be out skating every day, it's given me time to just sort of do other things that I enjoy. You know, I'm not trying to just wallow and think that everything sucks because I can't skate. But that's about all the information that I have as of right now. I'm starting physical therapy, and I'm meeting again with the sports medicine doctor in a few weeks to sort of catch up with everything and determine from there if I should get surgery or not. But I plan on making more videos from here, whether it's just a talking video like this, updating you with everything, or maybe I could film some sort of physical therapy routines that I'm developing and how I'm sort of working the muscles in my knee back up. I'm not sure if I can film like in the doctor's offices or anything. I don't think I can, but I can try whatever I can do. I'm going to try to document all of this for me to look back on, and for anyone else, like I said, who's dealing with this to look at. And please, if you're scared or worried about something that's happened to you, if you've hurt yourself on the skateboard or off the skateboard, just feel free to comment below on this video, or you can direct message me at pretty much any social media platform, and I'd love to help. I'd love to give you any advice that I can. I'm no expert, but I am going through this right now, and it's nice to have someone to talk to. So thanks for watching this video today, and stay tuned for more to come. It's going to be a long road ahead, and I hope that anything that I can say or do will help you in some way. So have an awesome one. If you are totally okay, then keep skating and have fun, and enjoy your day.
Looks like I'll be worrying for at least a week. I hope I'm still allowed to show 'cause in my teeth.